With an estimated 20,000 Syrian refugees coming to Detroit, where will these refugees find employment and homes here in Michigan? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the Director of Community and Neighborhood Development for the Arab American and Chaldean Council, Bob Ghannam. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So your organization has been around for a long time, 35 years,
yes.
Serving mostly the Middle Eastern community, but not exclusively.
Right. Our organization is a large human service organization based in the Tri-County area with over 40 outreach offices. And last year we served over 70,000 clients with services that range from public health to community health. We have a food pantry program. We have employment and training programs for the clients.
And really right now, one of your main initiatives, assisting refugees in all of the needs that they might have as they make their way into our country? The
last few years we've been dealing with a lot of Iraqi refugees that have been coming from the unrest in the Middle East. And we're finding out that a lot of them are coming with a lot of problems, and our organization tries to assimilate them into society, and specifically in the Detroit area. And so we have a lot of experience in dealing with refugees coming, whether it's dealing with their health needs that they need, or teaching them the English language, as I mentioned earlier, or finding them a job. And the most important thing for us is to get them to become active participants in society in this country.
A lot of us don't realize, but the Detroit area in particular, Metro Detroit, has one of the largest concentrations of refugees and folks from the Middle East in general who come to live here for good. They don't always start off here, correct? They come into the country, into various states, and make their way eventually to Metro Detroit.
What we're finding out is a lot of refugees that are, once they're brought to this country, they're settled in different parts of the country. And Detroit being a hub for the Middle Eastern population, a lot of them are making their way, as you mentioned, to Detroit. The problem with that is the funding stays in the states that they were initially settled in. So it kind of puts a strain on organizations like ours to deal in providing services for them, which we are doing gladly, but it does put a strain on what we're doing.
And once you have provided services or are in the process of doing so, you're also currently trying to come up with some creative ways to get them living and working and functioning in the city of Detroit, which will also help the city to become not only more diverse, but more populated and hopefully eventually more vibrant.
Well, we're working very closely with the state of Michigan, and our concept is to, as you mentioned, to repopulate Detroit. And one way we think would be very essential is to bring many of these refugees and to settle them in the city of Detroit. From our experience, we find out that a lot of the Middle Eastern immigrants and refugees that come here are, after a few years here, they're very eager to start working and to become very productive, and many of them open businesses up. And once they open businesses up, they're hiring people. So this is, it's like a snowball that's growing, and we're hoping that we can continue to do that with the Syrian refugees that are coming to this town.
After all, that's really how Detroit was created and born 100 years ago, correct?
It's a rebirth, is the way we look at it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For more information on today's topic, you can visit myacc.org. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Bob Ghannam, the Director of Community and Neighborhood Development for the Arab American and Chaldean Council.